I'm Dan Hardy, and these are my top 5 UFC London moments. The first one I have to come to is UFC 38, Brawl at the Hall, July 2002.
The gates of the Octagon have gone global. Welcome to the Brawl at the Hall.
The standout moment for me was Frank Mir against Ian Freeman. Frank Mir was very well respected as a heavyweight at the time, a big, strong, young, powerful athlete with a hell of a ground game. And Ian Freeman, somewhat of an old guard, one of the pioneers of UK mixed martial arts, and kind of looked like he was the underdog from the get-go, but just did not fight that way. He put it on Frank Mir from the start.
Some heavy blows being thrown.
He is teeing off Ian Freeman.
He fought with a tenacity and an intensity that is rivaled in the UFC very rarely. With just 25 seconds left in the first round, Ian Freeman was just too much for Frank Mir. The referee called it, and the most iconic moment, Ian Freeman sat on the top of the octagon fence with his arms aloft as the arena erupted around him.
Ian Freeman has defeated Frank Mir.
And this crowd is indescribable.
It was a beautiful moment and very, very inspiring for me as a young fighter. UFC 85 is my next pick. UFC Bedlam, back in June of 2008.
Beautiful London, England. The Bedlam has come to Britain.
The main event, Matt Hughes against Thiago Alves. Matt Hughes, one of the most respected welterweights of all time, and at the time, Thiago Alves was a rising prospect, a dangerous Muay Thai fighter. We all knew his potential, but at the beginning of the second round, when he landed that flying knee over Matt Hughes and got the victory,
It is all over. Thiago Alves has defeated Matt Hughes.
I think we all realised that Thiago Alves was something special, and it was really nice to be there to witness it live. I'd never seen anything that compared to that, and I just couldn't wait to step into the octagon myself. UFC 95 is my next pick, 2009. My very first fight in London on a UFC event, and it was an amazing night. I was fortunate enough to be in the co-main event spot, fighting Rory Markham, a very tough, heavy-handed fighter who had never heard the final bell. He always knocked his opponent out or went out on his shield, which is the kind of fighter that I like facing. So 2 big punches. I was more of a counter puncher, so I was looking to try and draw him in and catch him as he was being over-enthusiastic. And I was lucky that night. It was me that was on the winning end, and I caught him with a beautiful left hook, and still one of my favourite knockouts ever.
Markham trying to push forward.
That was my first ever finish in the UFC, and I remember as soon as it had happened, I ran over and climbed the fence, and I could see my family on the other side celebrating, and the whole arena going up, and that memory will stay with me forever. Moving on to the second part of my career with the UFC, this time as a commentator, and I was privileged to be sitting octagon side and calling this fight, Michael Bisping versus Anderson the Spider Silva.
Michael, the Count Bisping, is back home here in London in front of his adoring fans.
What an incredible fight it was.
A good shot from Bisping. Oh, and again, Anderson goes down for a second. Michael's pouring the pressure.
Michael Bisping showing his toughness and his heart, won the first 2 rounds, and then the third round, he was almost knocked out.
Oh, jumping knee. Michael goes down.
That is the buzzer. The fight is not over.
They started the 4th round, and Michael put in another 10 minutes of solid work and got the decision.
Michael Bisping!
You guys give me the strength, you give me the power. I do this for my family, but I also do it to represent Great Britain. I really do. Honestly, thank you all.
Fast forward a year, and it's March 2017. The last walk and the final fight of one of the fan favourites that the British Isles has produced, Brad Pickett.
Brad One Punch Pickett is currently making his final walk to the octagon for what he has called his last dance.
He walked out to take on a late replacement in Marlon Vera. He had an excellent performance of the first 2 rounds.
Oh! Cheeto was wobbling for 1 second.
And although he didn't get the win that night, the post-fight interview was really the defining moment of his career.
I'm so thankful for UFC giving me this platform to show my skills, and all the fans, man, I love you.
You could really feel the love in the arena for him. Every single person has appreciated Brad Pickett all the way through his career. They appreciate the way he fought. And I think everybody shed a tear, myself included, when Brad took his hat off and left it in the center of the octagon for one last time.
Brad, one punch Pickett!